Donald Trump has referred to his sweeping global tariffs from last week as Liberation Day, while others have called it Termination Day, referencing the fact that millions of Americans could lose their jobs as a result of the policy. Joining us now is Dennis Darby, the president and CEO of Canadian Manufacturers and Exporters. Dennis, thank you so much for being with us today. You've worked with hundreds of leading manufacturers. How are they pivoting following Donald Trump's announcement with the tariffs?
Right back when they started the threat of tariffs under under the border security, and then followed by steel and aluminum, and now automotive. What it's really caused for the sector, for manufacturers across Canada, is really I wouldn't say so much as a slowdown, but basically people sitting on their hands. They're not investing. They're not making decisions on where to put their next dollar of capital. They're not investing in automation, and they're certainly not hiring. In fact, in some cases, they're laying off. But at this point, most manufacturers are taking a bit of a wait and see before you make any kind of wholesale change. About half the manufacturers we represent across Canada have said if the tariffs were to persist, they would look at flexing production to the U.S. That's great if you're a big company. If you're a small company, it means you have to negotiate with your customer and supplier.
So in retrospective here, what is the wait and see aspect? What does that mean to the average Canadian?
So what it means to the average Canadian will be two things. One, Canada continues to be less productive than its trading partner, so that's not good long term. We've seen already is inflation in prices. So what we've seen in some categories, anything made from steel and aluminum, everything from a pop can or a beer can to office furniture, everything has gone up in price because of the president's tariffs on steel and aluminum in particular. And that's because we have an integrated market between Canada and the U.S. So the effect of the tariffs were to raise prices for everyone right across the board. So that's inflation, but also we're seeing the potential of lower demand because, of course, that wait and see from a consumer point of view is what will be the impact of these tariffs if the U.S. economy slows down as a result of what Mr. Trump has put in place. That affects Canada because 77% of everything we produce goes to the U.S. So if suddenly their demand starts to drop, that's bad for Canadian workers and bad for Canadian business.
And then I also want to get your take on Canada's reaction and retaliatory tariffs. Is that the right way to go?
Yes, we've been very clear with the government to do it in a very targeted way that you don't unnecessarily double tax or double tariff companies that need inputs for their manufacturing process. So taxes on finished goods, which have been very specific, makes sense, but make sure we don't tariff or put taxes on the manufactured inputs. In that case, manufacturers would be hit twice. Once as they bring their goods, the materials in or ingredients in, and once going back. So far it's been very measured, and we think that's appropriate.
Another aspect of your job, you mentioned it too right there in your company, is policy here, the focus on policy. Is there something as a country that we should be doing that we aren't doing?
Yeah, so as the association that represents manufacturers across the country, the one thing that is very clear is that if the U.S. is going to be a less reliable, less stable partner for our sector, we need to do the work, and it's hard work to develop our critical infrastructure to move goods east and west, to increase our efforts to sell to other parts of the world. So I think we're looking for political parties that are, and no matter who wins, it doesn't matter, but whoever comes in power will have to really work on that infrastructure, our roads, our rail, our ports, our pipelines, so that we can diversify our trade.
Yeah, we've been hearing a lot on that push for the government to be doing more of that. Okay, that is Dennis Darby, the president and CEO of Canadian Manufacturers and Importers. Dennis, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.